I'm Mike Durkin, that's Paul Charchian, and this is Fantasy Victory Now. And Charch, this week I want to start by talking about LeSean McCoy. The Eagles' offense just can't get off the ground right now, and the running game, Sproles, McCoy combined, averaging less than 100 yards a game right now.
Yeah, lots of frustration, not just with LeSean McCoy, but maybe the whole offense to some degree, because this Eagles offense produced no points last week, and McCoy in particular has been pretty bad. But really, this is a story that's being misdirected, I think, towards the star players and away from the real problem, the offensive line. The Eagles started 3 backup interior linemen last week. Then they had right tackle Lane Johnson out because of suspension. And then they lost their all-pro left tackle, Jason Peters, for a handful of snaps during the 49ers game as well. So, yeah, this has been a really bad situation from the offensive line standpoint. I still think McCoy is an elite-level talent. I'm not giving up on him, but we need this offensive line to get healthy, and hopefully that begins this week. I'm expecting at least a couple of guys back this week. Hopefully that'll be the case.
All right, preseason, it really looked like it was going to be Andre Ellington's breakout year.
Yeah.
Bruce Arians saying he was going to get the full workload, but a foot injury slowing him down to start the year. Is Andre Ellington still a breakout candidate?
I think he's a good buy low candidate right now. We're talking about an offense that has had to deal with a backup quarterback, and he hasn't been healthy. So I feel like you assume we're going to get Carson Palmer back soon, probably not this week, but probably the week after that. And then Ellington's healthy coming off the bye week. This seems like a pretty good opportunity. I like him through the air this week. The Broncos allowed 101 yards receiving to Colts backs in week 1, and then 58 to the Seahawks backs in week 3. And even without Jamal Charles for most of the game, the Chiefs backs had 7 catches against Denver in week 3. So this is a good opportunity this week for Andre Ellington, and he gets something done through the air. So it's not a bad time to buy low on Andre Ellington.
We know how bad Tom Brady has been this year.
It's amazing how that story has really blossomed nationally, isn't it?
But
we were ahead of the game.
We were ahead of the game.
Fantasy
we told
Victory
you
Now.
first.
Yeah, we
2
talked
weeks
about
ago
this.
we were telling you to drop Tom Brady.
Absolutely. Yes. So we were very I don't know, prescient, I believe is the word.
Nostradamus.
Let's go.
But the Patriots backfield has always been a frustrating situation, but a productive situation, depending on if you guessed right. But they've been frustrating as well this year for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, they really have been frustrating. They haven't produced very well, and it's been hard to know when to start each guy, Ridley and Vereen. But we've learned the tell on these guys for Ridley and Vereen. When the Patriots are ahead, they use Ridley extensively, and when they're behind, they use Vereen extensively. And usually that margin shifts by a 3-to-1 balance. So let's take a look at, for example, last week's blowout loss to the Chiefs. Vereen ended up with 13 touches because they were behind throughout. Ridley had 5. There's your typical 3-to-1-ish margin that you see between Vereen and Ridley when they're behind and when they're ahead. So when you look at every game, ask yourself, do I think the Patriots are going to be playing with the lead or not? If you think they're going to play with the lead, go with Ridley. If you think they're not, go with Vereen.
All right, if you're on fantasyvictory.com or leaguesafe.com, you know that Charch hates Chris Johnson.
I do.
And loves Chris Ivory.
I do.
Paul, after last week, are you still on the Beast East bandwagon?
Yeah, so they went up against the Jets. That was an elite, the number 1 run, they played the Jets. They played against the Lions. That is an elite level run defense and has been for years. So really tough situation. What I found very interesting is that the Jets used Beast East, my guy, Chris Ivory, as their lead back for the first time this year. He had 22 touches compared to just 9 for Chris Johnson. He is Pro Football Focus's second most elusive runner with 19 missed tackles on just 50 touches this year. I'm still totally sold on Beast East. He still racked up over 85 yards against a very good Lions run defense last week. The job just gets that much easier this week for Chris Ivory, Beast East.
All right, it's Vikings and Packers Thursday night and a full Sunday slate. Don't forget to check fantasyvictory.com all the way up until kickoff. All of the updated rankings are right there.